Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a really profound little piece from Su Feng of Life Chan Yuan. It gets you thinking about a fundamental question, In a world where pretty much everything has an expiration date, what do we have that never loses its value?
So let's just start with that big question, right? It's a great way to frame this whole idea. Seriously, take a second and think about it. What in your life, what do you have that will never, ever lose its value?
Well, the author kicks things off by pointing out something we all kind of know, even if it's a bit of a downer. Almost everything we think of as an asset, it all depreciates eventually. We're talking goods, yeah, but even things like relationships or ideas can lose their punch over time.
And we've all felt this, right? I mean, think about your car. Its value plummets the second you drive it off the lot, and it just keeps on dropping with every single mile. Or hey, just look at the phone in your pocket. That shiny new gadget feels like the most important thing in the world today. But you know as well as I do, it's going to feel ancient and way less valuable the minute next year's model comes out. And this is a big one. As the author points out, even the ultimate symbol of value, money itself, isn't safe. Under the right or maybe the wrong circumstances, a currency can become totally worthless. And this isn't just some abstract idea, okay? It's a real-world thing that happened. And it's what leads us to the core story of this piece.
So that brings us to this really powerful personal story from the author's life. It's about something he saw back in 2009, an observation that would totally change how he thought about what true value even means. Okay, so picture this. We're in Zimbabwe, it's 2009. The country was going through this insane hyperinflation, so bad that the government had to just give up on its own currency. The Zimbabwe dollar was, well, it was literally worthless. So to buy and sell anything, people had to use foreign money.
And it's here that the author notices something pretty fascinating. The US dollar bills that everyone was using, they were in terrible shape. I mean, they were filthy, torn up, just worn out from being passed around so much. But, and this is the key part, despite how awful they looked, something really important stayed the same.
So here's the crucial point, right? You've got this huge contrast. The outside of the money, how it looked, its physical condition, had absolutely zero effect on its inside value. A beat-up, torn dollar bill bought exactly the same amount as a brand new, crisp one. It had this agreed-upon worth that was totally separate from its physical shape. And this is where the whole piece makes this incredible leap. The author takes that lesson from a physical thing, a beat-up dollar bill, and applies it to something much deeper, the most important qualities of a person's character. You know, this story is the perfect illustration of what we call inherent value. It's a worth that has nothing to do with looks or condition or what's popular right now. It's a core quality that just is. And that begs the question, right? Do we, as people, have qualities that have that same kind of unshakable value?
Well, according to the author, the answer is a big, loud yes. He argues that, just like that tough old dollar bill, there are 4 human virtues that have that exact same quality. They just don't depreciate. And they are love, kindness, trustworthiness, and sincerity. It doesn't matter what happens to you on the outside. If you hold on to these things, if you invest in them, they never, ever lose their worth. So then the author goes on to explain how this idea basically shapes his whole worldview. He kind of frames it from his own perspective, calling himself a messenger. And as he sees it, his job is to spot and talk about what has real, lasting worth in people.
So, from that viewpoint, when you're looking at a person's life and trying to see its real value, all the usual things our society obsesses over, wealth, status, fame, even how someone looks, they're just irrelevant because all of that stuff depreciates. What really matters are those 4 virtues that never change.
So what's the big takeaway for us here? Well, it's really this powerful invitation to take a step back and look at our own priorities. It's about thinking like an investor, but for our own character. It's about figuring out where true, lasting value really is in our own lives.
In the end, the author's point is that these virtues, they aren't just nice ideas you talk about in a philosophy class. They are a practical game plan for life. They're the actual foundation, the guarantee for a good future. He's really urging us, no matter what's going on in our lives, to protect them like crazy. Why? Because they're the only assets we have that can actually secure a bright future. They're the only things that will never, ever lose their value. So we're going to leave you with this last thought to chew on. In a world that's just packed with things that are designed to fade and tear and fall apart, where are you putting your most valuable energy? Where's your focus? When you get right down to it, which of your assets are you really investing in?